Okay, before we get started, let's do a quick review of what we learned in the last class. In the last class, the elements of database system were introduced, and these elements include some, well, pretty much some basic concepts of database. First of all, I introduced what is what are the advantages of database-oriented approach over file-oriented approach. In basic information system, in traditional information system, we have separated files and different duplicates. For each application, we have each different files. But this causes data redundancy. That means one data file needs to be copied for as many times as how many application programs are. Therefore, later on, we have the database approach. Within this approach, all the data sets are stored in a centralized place. Well, that is what we call the database. A centralized place where data is stored and managed centrally. So all the different application programs are able to access the unified managed data according to the operation system. Well, in addition to operation system, we also have the database management system as the second layer of management of data to provide access to different application programs. So in one word, the database system is an integrated repository of an organization's data containing a series of interrelated data sets. Well, actually, these interrelated data sets are what we call tables in the database. Well, this is a slide showing the advantages of database approach and drawbacks. Well, from this slide on, we learned several basic elements within the database. Let's do a quick review. The primary key. Primary key, again, is the unique identifier of a record in the file. In database, well, actually, one table is stored in one file. So here, file and table can be used interchangeably. Well, this is the primary key, which is one attribute that is used to uniquely identify one record, only one record. If we want to identify one unique record with the usage of more than one attribute, we call it composite key. The composite key are used when multiple fields are required to uniquely identify one record. Non-key attributes, that is pretty much straightforward. to understand. Means every data in every field in the dataset other than the primary key is referred as non-key attributes. And lastly, foreign key. Again, I said in the last class, personally, I would like to call it the connector. Well, a foreign key is used to connect different tables. Do you remember what it is called in the currently used database system? The basic model is relational data model. So by saying relational, it means each table is related. So here, the foreign key is used to establish this connection between tables. So the foreign key is an attribute in a data set, which is the primary key in a related data set. That means, well, two tables have two attributes with same name. In one table, this attribute is defined as foreign key, and in another table, this attribute is defined as the primary key. Okay, relationships. Relationships between entities. Three types: one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Well, here are a set of another terminologies. A relation is simply a two-dimensional table with rows and columns. We can also say a relation to be a file or a table in the database. Rows, also referred to as tuples or the records in the table. Columns are fields or attributes. Okay, this is a model of relational database. And in this class, I will use this model to demonstrate what a database is and how a database looks like. Well, several rules for tables. Entity and referential integrity. These two sets of rules are designed for primary key and foreign key. Entity integrity means the primary key in a table cannot be null and must be unique. Referential integrity is used to constrain some rules for the foreign case. It means the foreign case must be null, must either be null or match an existing value in the master table for the foreign key. Okay, lastly, we talked about validation rules. Validation rules are used to prevent erroneous input into the database system. restricting access. Well, here you only need what a view is. Well, in the later part of this class, I will show you what a view is. And as you can see, in the view of the database system, in the view table, you can only view the data instead of editing. Okay, lastly, data dictionary. Data dictionary means the description of your database. Well, it contains a variety of information about the content in the database so that the contents for the users can be meaningful. If you do not understand what this field means or what that field means, you can refer to data dictionary and you will find a detailed description. So, SQL, this is what we're going to discuss in this class. Okay. So in this class, I will show you what a database system looks like. So what is a database system? So this file, as I said, has been uploaded to Blackboard site and in the form of online class. Well, I don't think you have the chance to practice on it, but later after the class, you can watch the class video and practice on this file, which can be downloaded from Blackboard site. Okay, this is the view of access. Here is a made-ready database system for you. Well, you can see some elements on the left bar. We have tables here. Well, 3 elements. Tables. We have cache tables. Well, nothing in this table. Collection tables. Context tables, which have several records of the context. Employee tables, feedback tables, inventory tables, etc., etc., to the end, shippers. Well, within this database system, within this database, well, each table is an entity. In other words, each table is used to record the information of each different entities, such as shippers, shipments, sales orders, employees, feedback, inventory, etc., etc. Well, let's take a look of the employees table. Well, here is a table for all the employees. The first attribute is EID, which is short for employee ID. And this attribute is the primary key for this table. You remember that in the last class, table rules says one of the rules is that each table in the database must have not this one, this one, yeah. Every table must have a designated primary key. So let's look back this table. This attribute is defined as the primary key of this table. Well, in other words, employee ID, EID, is used to uniquely identify one record or uniquely to identify one person, one employee in this business. Well, there are two rules for the definition of primary key. That is entity integrity. Well, the first rule is that the primary key in the table cannot be null and must be unique. Well, let's take a look. Within these attributes, no value is null value. And within these attributes, all values are unique. So think about this. In our university, Rutgers University, each person involved at Rutgers University is assigned with an RUID. Well, this RUID is actually the primary key in the the name, the persons in the persons table of our university's database. Well, that number, that RUID cannot be duplicated, which means must be unique, so that that number can be used to uniquely identify one record. Well, this is the primary key. Okay, next. The other attributes, including name, department, grade, phone number, date hired, salary, commission rate. Well, the rest of the attributes are non-key attributes. Non-key attributes. Here. Every field in a data set other than the primary key is referred to as non-key attributes. Well, these attributes, these non-key attributes are used to record the properties of each record or each single employee in this company. Name, department, grade, phone number, date hired, salary, commission rate, etc., etc. Well, here is the employee information. And next, I'm going to show you how to create a new table. Here, as you can see, the customer table is deleted. So I would like to create a customer table for this database. So to create new table, you go to create table. Well, in this view, you can enter different new records, but as you can see, there is only one attribute or one column in this table. We can click here to add, but to centrally manage the attributes, you go to here, you go to the design view. Well, before going to design view, we need to save this table as a new name. For example, customers table. Okay. Here you can define different fields, including field name, data type, and description, which is optional. Okay. The first attribute is CNO, which stands for customer number. Well, regarding the data type, we'd like to change it to number. The second field is name. Data type is okay. Please disregard this window. Let's click OK. Short text. The third attribute is address, which is short text. The next attribute is phone number. Phone number should be short text. Well, someone will ask me this question. For phone numbers, why do we define it as short text instead of numbers? Well, here we define the data type of phone number attributes as short text instead of number because it is not meaningful to do mathematical calculation for phone numbers. Well, In other words, if you want to plus my phone number to your phone number, what does it mean? It means nothing. So here we define the phone number as short text instead of numbers. Well, another reason is that in the United States, you can see we use dash to record phone numbers. If you define the attributes as number, you cannot add dash. Okay, this is phone number. Next, balance. Okay, for balance, it should be next. The last field is credit limit. And it should be number. Okay, now in this view, in this design view, we have defined all of the attributes that will be used in this table. So next, I'm gonna type in. Yes, I want to save the table now. So click yes. So next step is to input data into this table. Okay. For the first record, DNO is 101. Name is ABC. Address is 123 Annie Street. Phone number is 800. Phone number is 800. 987 1234. Balance is $60. Credit limit 1,000. 1,000. Okay. So this is how we add a new table and how we add new records within this table. So in addition to records, before we add new records, we need to define all the attributes used in this table. So next, let me see. So next, to save time, I would like to copy and paste this customer table directly from another source. So as you can see here, 5 records are added. Well, this table has been added to this database. But as I said, the current database model is relational model. So that means this entity or this table should be connected or interrelated with other entities. So next, I'm gonna show you how to define the relationships within the database. So we go to Database Tools and click this, Relationships. Okay, as you can see, this is the customers table. We have 6 attributes: CNO, name, address, phone number, balance, and credit limit. Now, I'm going to tell you that this table, the customers table, should be related to sales orders and contacts. Well, in the sales order table, here it is. In the sales order table, there is an attribute named CNO. Well, which means these attributes should be the foreign key for this table, or sales orders table. And these attributes within this orders table is used to show this order is placed by which customer. Well, in addition to sales order table, we have another table that is context. Well, here it is. Context table. Within context table, there is also a non-key attribute named CNO. Well, these attributes within context table to show this contact is created by which customer. Now, I'm going to show you how to create relationships between customers table, contacts table, and customer table, just orders table. Well, you guys can still hear me? Because I see an error message on the screen. Oh, yes, you can still hear me. Great. Okay, thank you. Thanks for feedback. So this is how we create relationships. We click the foreign key in one table and drag it to the master table. And release. Let me do it again. Now I'm gonna establish a relationship between contacts and customers table. So I need to click the foreign key, which is C&O in context table, and drag it to customers table, which is the master table. Drag and release. So within this window, we can see the customer table, which is the master table. Within this table, we define C&O as the master attributes. And in the related table, which is context, we also define C&O as the foreign key. Well, in addition to that, well, I just received an email from one of our students. Let me reply. There's a problem that I have logged into Blackboard and WebEx, but I don't see any. Okay, let's continue. Where am I? Okay, yes. Here you define different attributes to be related. But in addition to that, don't forget this. You need to enforce referential integrity. Enforce that. And click create. Well, once you click create, you will see a line between these two tables. This line means the relationship is established. Well, and on this end of the line, you will see one icon. And on the other end, you will see infinite icon. So that means the relationship between these two tables or these two entities is one to many, is many to one. One to many, yes. Well, one more word. Remember, there is no many to one relationship. The only thing we have is one to many. So the relationship between context and customer table is one to many. Okay, next, I will need to create another relationship between sales orders table and customers table. So same thing. I drag this attribute, which is the foreign key in sales order table, all the way to customers table. Drag and release. Well, in this table, you define the master table's primary key and the other related tables foreign key. And don't forget to enforce referential integrity. Well, do you remember what referential integrity is? Okay, let's have a quick review from the last class. Well, here, referential integrity means that a foreign key must either be null or match an existing value in the master table for the foreign key. That is a set of two requirements for foreign key. Okay, here it is. Once we click create, as you can imagine, a line is created. So that line means you have created a relationship between these two tables, sales orders and customers. Okay, now we have finished the creation of relationships between tables. So you want to save changes? Yes. Okay. Here, I said there are three elements. Tables. In addition to tables, we still have queries. Well, next, I'm going to show you how to create some queries. Well, what is a query? A query is something to retrieve useful information within one or more tables. So in this class, I'm going to show you how to create 4 queries. Let's see. The first query, to design a query that returns all the employee information. Well, all fields here means all of the necessary attributes within employee table. To create a new query, we go to create and click query design. Again, we go to create and click query design. Okay, here it is. Well, here you need to add the tables that are necessary to design this query. Okay, let's go back to design a query that returns all the employees fields. So you need to work with employees table. You double click employees table or single click employee and click add and close. Well, here is a list of all the attributes used in this table. From EID name, department grade, phone number, date hired, salary, commission rate. Well, now you can click and drag all of the attributes to this part. Because we want all the fields to be shown in this query. So we drag all of them to the bottom part. Salary and commission rate. Well, let's take a look. To take a look at the results of this query, we need to switch from design view to datasheet view. Okay, this is datasheet view. As you can see, all of the fields of all the records within employees table are displayed. Okay, let's go back. Well, in query 1, we can see we want all the fields to be displayed in this query. There is a shortcut. Let's delete them so that I can show you the shortcut. I dragged all of the attributes down to this. But if you want to show all of the attributes, there is a shortcut of the usage of the star sign. Well, as you can see, this is the first attribute, EID. But before that, there is a star. So in the query design, a star sign means all the attributes. So you can simply drag star down to here. Employees dot star. It means employees table, all the attributes. Okay, let's take a look at the result. We switch from design view to datasheet view. Okay, same thing. All of the attributes are displayed here. So this is how you design a query to show all the attributes within the table without any criteria. Let's go back and delete it. So let's imagine what if I want only several attributes showing in the query. For example, I only want the EID, the name, and salary only these three attributes to be shown in the query. So I drag only three of them down to here. And let's take a look. I switch from design view to datasheet view. Well, there it is. You can see only the attributes that were defined in the showing tab in the design view. Well, this is the first query. Yes, the first query is to show all attributes within employees table. So I drag the star here and take a look. Well, this is what I want. Close. But before close, you need to save it. Yes, we call it query 1. Okay. This is the first query. And let's see the next one. Design a query that returns sales orders placed by CNO 102. Okay, the difference between query 2 and query 1 is that query 2 has a criteria. The criteria is the sales orders placed by CNO equals to 102. So let's work with sales orders table. I go to create, query design, sales orders table. Well, let's take a look. I need to design a query that returns all the fields placed by CNO equals to 102. Well, again, all the fields. But here, I cannot use the star sign. If I use star sign here, I will not be able to define the criteria. So I need to drag each attribute down to this part. If we design the query like this, you go to datasheet view, we can see all of the records showing within all the attributes. But we only want to return the sales orders placed by customer 102. So how can I define the criteria? Right here. Within CNO, I go to criteria and type in the criteria equals to 102. Okay, this is how we add the criteria to one query. here, let's switch from design view to datasheet view. Well, now you can only see the sales orders, these 3 orders placed by customer 102. The rest of the records are omitted because the rest of the records do not meet our criteria. Our criteria is customer sales orders placed by customer number 102. Well, this is the second query. Before we close, we save it as query 2. Let's see the third one. Design a query that returns inventories, item number, description, and selling price, whose quantity on hand is less than 700. So I work with inventory table. Sorry, I need to create a new query here. So here I work with inventory table. Okay, let's see. What attributes should be displayed? Attributes item number, description, and selling price. Only these 3. So I drag item number, description, and selling price here. So as you can imagine, when I drag these 3 attributes here, if I go back to datasheet view, only the all of the records with these 3 attributes are displayed here. But I have an additional criteria. That is the inventories whose quantity on hand is less than 700. So let's take a look at this table. And this query, well, some inventories quantity on hand is greater than 700. For example, Gizmo. So according to that criteria, Gizmo should not be displayed. So as you can see, to add a criteria, we need to drag the related attributes down here and input our criteria. This is less than 700. But if we do it like this, I go to the datasheet view. Quantity on hand attribute is shown here. I do not want this attribute to be shown here. So what I can do is to unclick this. Unclick show icon. Unclick this. In this case, the criteria on this attribute is defined while these attributes will not be shown. So I go back to datasheet view. As you can see, only the records that meet our criteria are shown here. Well, this is the third query. We click, we close it and save it as query 3. Okay, let's go to the last query. Design a query that returns the contact number, EID, date contact that are contacted by customers whose credit limit less than $100. So in this query, as you can imagine, we need to work with two tables. They are contacts and customers. So we design a query. We need to work with contacts table and customers table. If you can remember that in the previous step, I just created a relationship between these two tables. So that's why when you add these two tables here, this line is shown to show these two tables have a relationship. Well, let's see the criteria. I need to return contact number, EID, date, contact number, EID, and date, contact date. Well, let's see the criteria. Contacted by the customers whose credit limit less than $100. So here, to define the criteria, we need to use an attribute from the other table. So the criteria credit limit attribute is from customers table. So we drag these attributes all the way here. Down here, we define the criteria less than 100. And we do not want these attributes to be shown in our query result. So we uncheck this box. And let's go to datasheet view. No records. Let's change the criteria to 1,100. Okay, because there's no customer whose credit limit less than 100. So let's change the criteria to be less than 1,100. Okay, here you can see only these three records in contact table. And these three contacts are contacted by customers whose credit limit less than 1,100. Okay, this is query 4. Let's close and save as query 4. Okay, that is how we create different queries in database system, DBMS of Access. But in addition, you also need to know how can we use SQL to create a new query. Well, let's go back to query 1. Here is the design view. And here it is the datasheet view, which displays the results of this query. But between these two, there is another button that is SQL view. Well, this is the automatically generated SQL commands for this query. When you design the query in this view, it is GUI, graphic user interface. A command line of SQL is automatically generated in background. So in other words, you can design this view using SQL view instead of the design view, which is the GUI. So next, I'm going to show you how to design a query using SQL. Well, originally, this part is the extra credit for our class. Let's see. Well, before we move to the online class, this part is the 10% extra credit. But in this case, it's not feasible to have to conduct an final exam in class. So this part is cancelled. Even though, I mean, this part is not cancelled in the class. I mean, the extra credits are cancelled. Not cancelled, but replaced to the other two homeworks. So next, I'm gonna show you how to create a query using SQL commands. Okay. Using SQL to create a query, you need to remember the basic structure of SQL query design. The basic structure of SQL to design a query. Select from where? Okay, these three keywords. Select from and where. After select, you need to after select keyword, you need to write the attributes to be shown in the query. It's like here. Well, in this query, we showed all of the attributes. All the attributes can be replaced by a star. So in this query, table name dot star is written here. So after select, it should be table name dot attribute. Let's see another example. In query 3, you can see here we have item number from inventory table, description from inventory table, and selling price from inventory table to be shown in this query. Okay, so we have table name, which is inventory dot attribute name, which are item number, description, and selling price. Well, you may ask why there is a pair of brackets in item number and selling price. Well, that's because the name of these attributes has a dash sign. Well, in other words, that's pair of while within description, the name of these attributes doesn't have a dash sign, so there's no bracket. So this is the rule. After select table, after select keyword, you need to display all the attributes to be shown in this query. Table name dot attribute name. To add more attributes to be shown, you use comma to separate them. Comma, another set of attributes. Okay, this is the contents after select keyword. Now let's take a look at from. Let me change the color. Okay, from. What should be after the keyword from? After from, we have the table names that we work with. For example, this is query 3. We work with only one table, right? Here, we have only this table, inventory table, to be worked with. So here in this query, we have only one table name, inventory table. Similarly, in query 2, also, we work with only one table, sales orders table. So here, after from keyword, we have sales orders table. Similarly, in query 1, we work with only one table, which is employees. So after from, we have employees. But if you can remember, in the last query, we work with two tables, both contacts and customers. So in query 4, we want to inner join these two tables. Please remember this keyword, inner join. Before inner join and after inner join, we have the names of these two tables, customers and contacts. And we add the keyword on. On what attributes? As you can see, C&O attribute works as the foreign key, or in other words, works as the connector of these two tables. So these two tables are inner joined using C&O. We have customers tables dot C&O equals to context tables dot C&O. So here's the summary. After from keyword, we list the tables that we work with. And if there are more than one tables, use inner join. Again, inner joined by the foreign key. Okay, lastly, let's see where. And let me change this to green. Well, let's see. What should be included after the keyword where? Obviously, the criteria is listed after where. Well, for example, let's see the first query. In the first query, there is no criteria. So within the SQL comments, you cannot find where keyword because there's no criteria. But regarding the fourth one, the third one, and the second one, we all have materials defined. For example, within the second one, the criteria is the CNO greater than equals to 102. So when you switch to SQL view, you can see the content listed after where is within sales order table, CNO attributes equals to 102. Regarding the third query, let's see, the criteria defined in design view is quantity on hand less than 700. So within the SQL comment after where, we can see within inventory table dot quantity on hand attributes should be less than 700. That is the criteria for the third query. And in the last query, the criteria should be credit limit within customers table is less than 1,100. Yes, criteria here. So in summary, after where keyword, the criteria should be listed after where. Okay, that's all of this class. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can speak to me directly or type in your question within the chat box. No more questions? Okay, so now I'm gonna upload the fourth homework right after the class. And the homework is all about query designs. Your job is to design 4 queries. 4 queries which are very similar to the 4 queries discussed in the class. And this homework is no longer mandatory, but optional for extra credit as of 5%. So that's the end of this class. Thank you for your attendance. Bye-bye.